Hey Peyton, how are you?
I'm awesome. How are you?
I'm doing great. What have you been up to lately?
Oh, nothing big. Just preparing to release my first single ever. And other than that, just life is normal. Writing songs, all the
What's
best.
what's the nerves to excitement ratio with releasing music for you?
Um, I don't really know that it's hit me yet. I've kind of kept myself busy planning the things that go around it. Like I make a lot of my own graphics and my own like lyric videos and behind the scene videos. And so I've been planning a bunch of things. So I've been busy, but I think it'll hit me when it comes out and like everyone can hear it and it's not just in my notes folder anymore.
What's it been like to wait all this time to finally put out music?
Um, it has been a journey for sure because I wrote this specific song, Therapy, probably 3 years ago, close to four now. And it's the oldest one on the project, and it's gone through so many life changes and sonic changes, and it somehow has still ended up being where my story as an artist starts. So I feel like it's finally time. I feel like any second earlier than this week would have been too soon, and I feel like I was waiting on the chance to have the right team around me to really give the song the life that I knew it deserved. And it feels really good to finally feel like all of the pieces to support how awesome the song is are there. So I'm pumped.
So when you first wrote Therapy, did you know that it was a special one at the time, or did you let it marinate over time?
I knew, and my co-writers knew that it was special. I wrote it with Mackenzie Carpenter, Jonathan Hutcherson, and Micah Carpenter. And at the time, I had just like gone through this awful relationship and messy breakup, and I was figuring out how to like get through it all. And I told them I'm doing this weird thing where I like go park in all of these spots that I went with this guy until it doesn't hurt anymore. And so I was like literally driving to mafiosos and these random parking lots where we had been and just like sitting there crying and like hurting so bad until I was like, oh, it's just moths now and it's just a parking lot. And like I just kind of took the power back from him. And so I told him, when we came in the room, I said, "Yeah, I can't afford therapy, so this is what I'm doing to like get through it." And they're like, "Oh, that's a cool title," and I was like, "Yeah, maybe we can write it, whatever." And we really goofed off most of that ride. Like it was a really long day because we were all really good friends, and so we were just kind of like messing around. And then we got done, and one of them stood up and they were like, "This feels like a Peyton Porter song," and I was like, "It does. It really does." And it's been through a weird thing though because then we ended up pitching it to quite a few artists, and the demo was actually for another artist band, and so the version I've had to listen to for the last 3 years has never really felt like mine. So I'm really excited that it's finally mine again, and it's my sound for the first time and my story.
Well, it was meant to be yours all along, apparently.
Apparently so. It tried to escape a couple times, but kept coming back.
So I want to touch a little bit on your musical journey. When did you know that music was something that you wanted to do?
um, I think I knew when I was in middle school that it's something I would be interested in doing. I don't think I realized it was the thing that I wanted to do until probably freshman year of college. And I knew I wanted to be in it and around it in whatever shape or form I could. Like when I was a freshman in college, I left the music program to get a PR degree because I was like, you know what? I love writing songs. I love singing. I think I'm okay at it, but if not, maybe I could be a manager or a publicist or a stylist or something. I just wanted to be in it somehow. And then luckily, I got an internship at Seagill early and started getting in better rooms and writing better songs. And it became apparent that I was going to get to be a songwriter. And I didn't know, though, that I would ever get to be an artist. So all of this finally happening is like crazy and exciting.
So when did it finally hit you that you wanted to do the artist then?
I have always wanted to be an artist. I like all of this that's happening around me, like shows and releasing music and all of the visual, that's all been in my brain. It's just like I've been living in a circus up in my head. And now people are like, hey, can we come to the circus? And I'm like, you guys want to come? And so now I just finally get to let people into what's been in my brain for 23 years. So it's like, it's kind of crazy, but because I've been planning my artist career, whether or not it would have ever happened, a lot of things have already been like thought through. And like I know the kind of songs I want to record. I know what kind of stage setup I want. I know what kind of merch I want. I know what fans I want to see and what I want to like offer to them. Like I've thought about all these things. It's just now people actually give a crap, want to hear it.
Welcome to the circus.
Yeah, yeah. Welcome to the circus.
So were you shocked that people really wanted into the circus? Or
Oh, I lost you for a second. What did you say?
were you shocked that people wanted into the circus?
It's like a microphone went off or something. It's like you're underwater.
What about now?
Still a little bit underwater. Oh no, what's happened?
So, were you shocked initially that people wanted into the circus?
Oh yeah. Because it's like, I started once we started talking about me getting to be an artist, which the plan when I signed my first publishing deal in December was to write songs for a year and then talk about the artist stuff like top of 2022. And then in February, we had like this TikTok thing happen, and I kind of just naturally knew what I wanted to do and how to handle it. And so it took, I think, my publishers seeing that my brain was capable and ready to work that way for them to know that, like, oh, okay, this might happen quicker than we expected. And I'm still shocked that people want to be a part of the circus, and we haven't really, like, even started letting people in yet. But I like started feeling all my songs in colors when we started thinking about which ones to record. And so I would be in the studio and I'm like, this one needs to feel like a horse in a desert with the purple sand and a pink sky. And the producers are like, got it, okay. Like, yeah, you guys know what I mean, right?
So, was that like a conversation you had with your publishers that you wanted to go sooner into the artist thing, or did they just notice that on their own?
Well, so I had this song go viral on TikTok accidentally. And my whole plan for putting anything on TikTok was like, oh, well, one day if I'm ever like important, at least I'll like have had content on here. It was never like I want this to happen. So when it went crazy, I was like, I've ruined my career. People are going to think I'm a TikToker. This is the worst thing I could have ever done. I'm not releasing this song. Like I was so upset, and it was the opposite of what a lot of people were using the app for, which was like to blow up and get to release their songs. And so I was kind of, it wasn't ever a decision like, okay, let's do it, or like, I want to do it and they didn't. We were all kind of, okay, well, let's not miss out on the opportunity that's presented itself, and let's see what happens and kind of roll with it and not skip over it just because it wasn't in our plan. So we've just kind of been rolling with the punches since February.
So, have you learned to embrace your TikTok fame by now, or no?
I think so. It's been fun because after that, I created an email sign up list and I started giving them music and just like demos and stuff that I may or may not ever actually release. So it's been cool to be able to give music without having to actually put out an official song. And we've had a couple more videos that got really high numbers, and One of them got me on the radio, just even though I don't have music out, which was nuts. And then when I posted a video for Therapy, the single, I kind of expected to have to work really hard to get high numbers on it because every time one went crazy, it was one that like was an accident. And so I expected to have to really kind of like beat the algorithm on it. And then I posted it a couple weekends ago and took a nap on the beach at the show I was playing and woke up and it was like doing the thing. I was like, what? Have I figured it out? Have I cracked the code?
You finally had one that you wanted to blow up, and it did.
Yes. Yeah. So that was, I mean, thank God it was nuts, but we'll take it for sure.
And also the wild thing about that is you haven't even released music yet, and you sort of have this fan base for it that's built up like crazy.
It is absolutely crazy. And I'm really excited to see just like how powerful that fan base is with this release. And just to see what they like and what they don't like so that I can keep giving them music that they want to hear and really start getting out on the road and getting to see them and the face to face, and all that stuff. I always said I wanted to be an artist to do meet and greets because I love people. That's how I connect to people. It's like, here's my song, here's my deepest, darkest secret in music form. My name's Peyton, by the way. And then they get to tell me their stories, and I'm like, oh, okay, like now we can actually connect and relate. And so I'm looking forward to that.
So would you say that your first musical love was writing songs or performing?
Definitely writing, which has been tricky as of late because I've been so focused on this release and like being the artist side of it that I get in the room and I can focus for like 45 minutes and then my brain flies away and it's like, do a graphic, work on merch, do this. And I'm like, what are you doing? We love writing songs. And my brain's like, go this way.
The
um,
circus is
so
the circus has a mind of its own.
yeah, that we've got a runaway elephant in the circus up there. But it's been a challenge more so than I expected it to be able to do both of those tricks and do them well. Like the artist thing is a trick and writing is a trick. And I love writing songs. Nothing moves me like an incredible song. And I think if I never get to be a singer or artist or anything, I will still love writing songs and just being a fan of the craft. But for right now, they're letting me test my wings on the other side.
Do you feel like you've been able to find some sort of balance that works between it all, or not yet?
I think I will. This is my first time releasing music as a first. I'm not even a year into my first publishing deal, and it's also Jody and Nina at my company. It's their first time helping a developing artist release a single while balancing a calendar, and so I think this has been a good like trial for us to figure out things, and I think we always recognize balance when we swing by it, and so we'll be pursuing balance for the rest of my career probably.
So you mentioned that you love writing a great song. So when you're writing songs, what separates first the bad from the good, and then more importantly, the good from the great for you?
I'm not a great judge of great from good. I know if it's a bad song, and I know that pretty much around the time we go to work tape it, I'm usually like, this is pretty
Not
good,
feeling
but like it's not groundbreaking. And then sometimes I know from like the hatching of the concept that this song is going to matter and it's going to change like the atmosphere a little bit because those songs like present themselves to you almost and then you're just trying to not mess it up. You're just trying to keep it on the tracks and if you like keep it between the lines, you can like take it home with you. But that's when the magic of songwriting is really really fun when the muse shows up and the right people show up and all of the energy collides and you get to just kind of like be a vessel for this thing that wants to exist.
it all just sort of flows together.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So how would you describe your style as an artist?
So this is something I'm working on. In my mind, I am like the combination of three things. It's like hippie meets drag queen meets worship leader. And like which is nuts. Take the like religious part of the worship leader out of that equation and take just like the feeling of being in a group of people, when you're at a concert and everyone, like the energy, and you're just like relaxed and you're vibing out to the music. That's like the spirit of what I do. I love that feeling of just like unity and being a part of something bigger. And then the drag queen part is like the Dolly and Beyonce influence in me. It's like all the rhinestones and the lights and the colors and just like the attitude. And then the hippie side is like I'm from the mountains of Georgia, so there's this like breezy kind of whimsical part to what I do as well. So there's songs that are a lot more in each of those categories, but this first one is definitely it leans right in the middle, I think, of all of those. And then we've got a bunch of flavors still in the pipe to give to people. But yeah, so it's a weird combo. It's definitely country and it's definitely pop and it's definitely influenced by a lot of things. I mean, all of us artists coming up right now are influenced by so many things. So yeah.
So how did you sort of develop this wild style of yours?
this lifestyle of mine. What do you mean? Break it down for me.
The wild style is it. The hippie, the drag queen, the worship leader. Where did that all come from for you?
Where does it all what?
Where did it all come from for you?
I don't know. I think a lot of being an artist and becoming an artist, as I've learned over the last few months, is being able to articulate things to people. Like it's being able to tell people what you see for yourself and what you relate to and what influences you. So I think a big part of it has been like style, just looking at actual like clothing. What do I want to wear? And I like don't love showing a lot of skin, which is where a worship leader would come in. I love the flowiness of like a hippie and a Fleetwood Mac and like Lauren Daigle and Maggie Rogers and then Dolly and Beyonce and all of the shiniest, most powerful and strong things. So it's a weird little thing that a little braid of things.
I don't think anyone else has that combination of things going on. So
I think we all have a little bit of it. We just don't know. It's in there somewhere.
We're not all.
You've got a little bit of Beyonce in you.
I'm hiding it very deep down.
Yeah.
So if it wasn't for music, what would you be doing today?
Oh, I would have never left my hometown. If I knew very early, by the time I knew I wanted to do music, I knew I would never get to stay in my hometown. And I didn't leave. Like I wasn't the kid who was like, I hate this place. I've got a like big dream outside of here. I loved my hometown. Like and it loved me back. I mean, I had my whole family's there. I had great friends. I was homecoming queen. Like I had every reason to want to stay there. I had a guy that I liked in high school. My life without music would look a lot different. I would be, yeah, in my hometown. I don't know what I would have done. I'm very artistic, like outside of music. So I paint and I draw and I design things. So I probably would have been like a craft or some type of, I would have probably had like a small business where I made things for people and then just like married my high school sweetheart and been done with it.
The classic small town life.
Yeah, yeah.
So since you moved to Nashville, has there been any looking back or straightforward ever since?
My first semester at Lipscomb, by Christmas, like I didn't make friends very easily. And I remember telling my mom, I'm gonna try and do this. Like, we didn't have sororities on campus, we had social clubs. And I was like, I'm gonna try and get in this social club. And if I don't get in, or if I do get in and I still don't like it here, I'm moving back home. Like, I was very miserable. And she was like, I think you should stick it out. I mean, this is kind of what you want to do. And at that point, I hadn't really sang in Nashville either. I just really had a hard time finding my footing. And I got into the club, liked it enough to stay for another year, and um, then found friends on campus that convinced me to like write songs and meet people. When I came to Nashville, I hadn't ever co-written, so it was a whole learning curve within my first year and a half to even think that I could write with other people.
So, so by now, do you feel like you found the group of people that you really click with in Nashville?
Yes, for the most part, yeah. I think that a lot of relationships are seasonal, and I have a hard time letting things be seasonal. Like, I wish I could meet someone on day one and they could be at the end of the movie with me, but in life, that's not always how it works. And so I found like a really good core group of people that I think will be able to go the distance. And then I've got a lot of people that I hope stick around, and I hope that I'm a good enough friend and supporter of, and that we'll all get to be friends in the end. But yeah, I think I found awesome people. I've definitely found the team and the members of my career side of things that I really believe in and feel very confident and trusting in. So I feel lucky to have those people.
It's very important to have those people, because otherwise you're off on your own, and who knows what could happen.
Yeah, you're alone and like sad and considering moving back to Georgia.
Hope no one from Georgia hears that, but
Yeah, I mean, I love it. I would move back if that wasn't the case, but I like it here a lot more.
so what would you say has been the biggest lesson you've learned since you moved to Nashville?
Ooh, good question. I think one of the biggest lessons that I've learned since moving to Nashville is you can, let's see how I should say this. You don't have to be bad to people to win. And it's much better if you're good to people and win. And I think there's like this misconception that to get where you want to go, you have to like sometimes cut corners or step on other people or just kind of like do a sleight of hand. But my publisher, Jody Williams, is like the perfect example of you can be great to people and have a reputation to where everybody in town respects and loves you. And you can be at the top. And I mean, he's been a legend for years and he still just loves songs and people value his opinion. And for someone like him to put a stamp of approval on me, it's like, okay, I've got people around. Like he'll call me at midnight, be like, hey, I think you should send like a thank you to this person, or hey, you should check on so and so. I heard this happened to them. And he's like a great moral compass of how to treat people. So and I think that there's room for everybody to win. And it's much more fun to focus on all of us winning than it is like to get competitive about it, because there is room for everyone to succeed. And it's a lot more fun to clap for people than to push them down. So
So on the flip side of that, what would you say has been the biggest challenge since you moved to town?
the biggest challenge since I moved to town has been balance. I think personal and professional gets very blurred in this industry, especially in a small town like city like Nashville. And like I'll find myself going weeks without seeing my friends. And I'm like, what am I doing? No wonder I'm like sad. I've been making videos and graphics for 2 weeks and I haven't called my friend to see if she wants to get dinner. And um, just managing your personal and professional is that's a big challenge for me because I love the professional. And so taking care of the personal sometimes like falls to the wayside.
You kind of got to learn to step back from the professional a little. So.
Yes, yes. And the pandemic was a great teacher of that because what else did we have to do but work on ourselves?
Scary, scary thought. But,
Hmm.
yeah. So you mentioned before that therapy will be part of a bigger project. I don't know what you could tell us about that, but anything you could.
Yeah, so we have recorded a few other songs, and there's a couple that we've still got to get back in and record in the name and the sake of making like an EP situation. My brain and my circus, I dream of a full length album, like a full 12 plus songs that tell a whole story. And like, I know what the album's named already, I know what the first and last song are. And then there's like so many dots that connect the story. And we've got a lot of the dots, the songs. It's just a matter of getting the opportunity to give it to people in the way that I envision it because I mean, people have a hard time chomping on 12 songs right now if you give it to them all at once. So I'm just, doing whatever I have to do to get to put out a full album. But yeah, we've got songs in the pipe. We're probably going to release Therapy, and we've recorded so much over the last year. Like I have had my video camera at my every breath. So we've got videos of everything to kind of roll through the holidays, and then we'll start figuring out next single, top of the year, and we've got plenty of songs. I know that. So it's just picking what's right and figuring out what people want to hear.
So therapy is going to be the opening of the floodgates for you. It's not going to be you're going to release this and then take a break.
Yeah, well, Nashville kind of shuts down after Thanksgiving and awards week, and it gets a little bit sleepy and gray around here. But we walked into the studio to record this first batch, and I was like, so the next time we're here, maybe we can record this and this. And they were like, slow down, sister, you don't have money. So I have dreams much bigger than my wallet is right now. So we'll see.
Hopefully someday the wallet will match the dreams.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I feel like I'm prepared to be very poor for a very long time and just pay everybody around me. And then someday I'll make money. It'll just kind of happen out of the blue. That's what I've mentally prepared myself for.
You can't have a big wallet without big wallet dreams. So.
Yeah, yeah. Like I'm gonna have to fill it up somehow. So
One way or another.
one way or another, maybe I'll like have a craft business. Who knows?
Or sell a kidney, you never know.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time for this.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm such a fan of all of your socials. I like
Thank you.
follow, I mean, I got a PR degree, so I love anybody that follows and adds commentary and support to upcoming artists and just music in general. So you do a great job. I'm
Thank
really
you so
excited to
much.
be a part of it.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thank you, you too.